Don't you miss the good old days when a company's only motive was just to make money? Hello everyone, it is I, Ann Aldis, back with another video. Today we'll be returning to the series, Companies That Decided to Go Woke. Why are you doing this? Please stop. In the last 2 weeks I have noticed quite a bit of companies that have decided to pander to the SJWs. It has been hilarious, crazy, stupid, and funny at all the same time. It's just wow. And I mean, this isn't the first time we have seen this. Nissan did it a few months ago with Brie Larson, and then back in 2018 Gillette did it, and that was a funny video. Men bashing from Gillette, great one. But in the last few weeks I've noticed quite a few of them, and I decided let's talk about all of them in today's video. Shall we? Now the first one I want to talk about is simply because I actually do have this one, which is Mrs. Monopoly. This was an Easter Day gift from my sister because it was clearance at $11 because no one wants to buy this game. Now Mrs. Monopoly is a game which is supposed to be fair because women don't get paid much because of the wage gap. So women in this game get paid more than men. Wow. Now the game's been out for about a few months now, but it recently got trending on Twitter because a lot of people started basically making fun of the game because of how bad it's doing. The Mrs. Monopoly board game gives females higher salaries and rewards. They're reassuring young women, girls that can be just as successful as long as they are provided with extra advantages that they haven't earned. This kind of feminist is so empowering. Mrs. Monopoly claims to be self-made, but she got her state-up capital from her uncle, the Monopoly guy. Since Mrs. Monopoly is trending the story of the original Monopoly board game starting as a left-wing culprit of capitalism made by a woman entering into this garbage is fascinating in all the worst ways. Maybe that Mrs. Monopoly ad is a parody. Oh. The like and dislike ratio. It's about time. About time for what? Mrs. Monopoly to give me a head? Hasbro after releasing Miss Monopoly. We did it, boys. Sexism is no more. I'll say this about Mrs. Monopoly. You think Hasbro will put a little more effort in her character design rather than just rip it from whatever shitty $100 micro iPhone game. Good news, Mrs. Monopoly costs 30% less than regular Monopoly. And I could just go on and on and on, but I think we get the point. A lot of people are just making fun of this game because this game is stupid. You know, it would be nice if we could have a game that everyone gets paid the same. Right. We already have that. But nonetheless, I think this was a fun game to laugh at, make fun of this stupidity. And it's kind of sad because I actually saw a little potential, like Mrs. Monopoly about inventors and inventions and all of that and how girls invented all of these things. That could have actually been a really good game if it wasn't about feminism and wage gaps. The mythical wage gap that has been debunked so many times. It's hilarious. And I think it's weird that chocolate chip cookie is the most valuable thing in this game. Is that the most valuable thing women have ever made? Chocolate chip cookies? Yeah. Either way, funny game to laugh at. It's not obviously making the sales that they wanted to make, and I don't think it's a surpriser on why is that. So, with that, let's move on. The next company I want to talk about is Ben & Jerry. Now, personally, I don't eat a lot of Ben & Jerry. My mom used to buy tons and tons of it and eat it and all that, and I only had it probably like 3 times in my life. They're really overpriced, so even when I started being able to buy my own stuff, I was like, $5-6 for tiny ice cream, $5-6 for bigger tubs of ice cream. The math wasn't really that hard. But I know I've heard that they have said stupid shit before when it comes to being woke and all of it. And apparently recently they posted this little tweet. This is a fact. COVID-19 disproportionately impacts Black Americans. Learn more and take action. From there, they released this article, which basically said the same thing. All I have to say to this is, why? Why did you post this? obviously you should have expected people to not like this, because this tweet did get a lot of hate and people questioning where the fuck they got this from. Like, where did you? And how is this helping anyone? Like, black people are most disproportionately affected by this. Everyone is affected by this, Ben and Jerry. It's not just black people. Everyone is affected by this. We are all suffering together in quarantine, Ben and Jerry. Are you saying the virus is racist and just picking on the poor, innocent black folks? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to find reason behind this tweet as well. But I think what we're really forgetting is, even if this tweet is true, like, I don't know if this tweet is actually true, if it's from an actual legitimate credible site or not, if they're just making it up. Regardless, just for the humor, if this is actually true, did they ever actually went behind the reason of why that is? Like 2 weeks ago, this video got over 1 million views on Facebook before it was taken down. It is a quarantine party, and if you see, look at them. They are sharing bottles, they're smoking, they're really cramped up and really close to each other. Obviously, this is going to get people affected. Like, just look at that. That is not safe, and it's not something you should be doing during quarantine. And when you really think about it, if a lot of black people are responding like this and not really caring about it, then of course a lot more of them will be affected if they're not doing what they're supposed to do to be safe. Now, I'm not saying that this is the case or black people are just all bad like this, but I'm saying that there's always a reason behind it if you choose to look more deeper into it. And this might just be the case. So Ben and Jerry, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Just stick to overpricing your ice cream. Potato chips and fudge? What kind of ice cream are you trying to make? And with that being said, let's move to the next and final woke company, which is no other than Gerber. Now, in all honesty, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because this is a relatively newer story out of the three of them, and I'm still learning more of it, so I don't want to say the wrong things, so let's just get on to it. So with this one, recently there was a company contest, photo contest, when it comes to people submitting photos of their babies, and then one's chosen to represent the face of Gerber, and this little girl is the new face of Gerber. She was an adopted child, and through this article basically discuss how it all works. Now, like I said, this could just be that they're trying to just pick another baby, you know, just another face. But from the last recent years, people worried that Gerber is starting to try to be more woke. In 2018, they had a Gerber baby, which was the first to have Down syndrome. And last year, they had one that was of Hmong descent. And they even in this article, they said that it was a goal for greater diversity. So it is a concern that people are starting to see a pattern of them getting more and more woke. And just look at that. They believe that they are trying to aim towards the minorities and the black folks. It's just great. Just great. This is just what we needed. Just what we needed. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with this baby winning or the previous ones. I know money was on the line of this, so I think it's kind of nice. I think the real story behind the baby itself is kind of cute. If you read more of the article, they talk more about her. And, but it's just like it's just weird how more of this diverse that Gerber is trying to get into that I've been noticing. It's just kind of cringe. And this advertisement has proved to have failed multiple times before for the same thing, is that it comes out as pander, which could just make people cringe and get annoyed rather than feel any, diversity or sympathy or even care about any of this. But nonetheless, Gerber is going for this route, and they're doing it. And like I said, definitely compared to the other two, this is not the biggest or most wokest thing that's happened, but it is something that I thought should be noticed, and we will see what happens. Once again, this could just be me reading too deeply into things as I always do. But who knows? Because in this day and age, we don't know. Really, do we? And now we all see how some of the biggest, well-known, wealthiest companies are now desperate for consumers that they try to pander. And with that being said, I think I'm gonna end the video right there. Isn't that right? And as always, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I try to post videos as often as I can. And as always, till next time. Say hi, Arrow. Oh, Eris. You have a twin that looks just like you. Hi. I want my own. This is my sister's. Oh, he doesn't want to be here. Bye. Till next time.